Video clip contains strong language and has therefore been rated 18 plus by the YouTube NECCA. Viewer discretion is advised.
سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Allahu Akbar!
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Hamin Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel.
Allahu Akbar!
So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Hamin Media Group, and join the Hamin Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
Jeff, AEW sold over 60,000 tickets?
It's a miracle of true blue spectacle.
It's Friday! You know what that means! A new era of professional wrestling starts right now with AEW Rampage! I said I demand a thank you! What the hell? Good God Almighty, the rope just came off! John Moxley! I don't think you should even say thanks. These brothers and Young Bucks have been through a war. The thunder and the lightning of John Moxley leaving his mark. Good God Almighty, the referee down.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Time with Adam Cole. That guy.
Darby Allin. He'll take a chance. Pull the goal.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HMG Rampage Uncaged show right here on channelattitude.com via Hamin Media Group. I am your host, Jimmy T, and my co-host, he's back at it once again. He is all ultimate deletion ready for Rampage Uncaged. He is the evil one. He is the good doctor. He is Dr. Jeff Lippman. Welcome back to Rampage Uncaged. And please don't tell me you wanted to get deleted. Come on now, it wasn't that bad, was it?
Delete me, let me go.
Oh, come on, Jeff. It wasn't that bad, was it? I mean, really?
Well, I mean, for an episode of Rampage, it was okay, but as far as the deletion matches, which were sort of getting old by the time they
That's
went to
true.
the second one,
Right.
this was by far the worst, but still the best part of Rampage. I'm really curious why you did it on Rampage at all, especially during this preemption period time. So, I mean, this could have been on Dynamite and maybe would have kept viewers watching until the end because at least it had the curiosity factor.
That's a good point, and you're very right. But before we talk about that, that's a bit later on in the show. Let's get into some AEW news, though, Jeff.
Okay, let's.
Because, I mean, is it a time for celebration? Or maybe I should be playing that song. Celebrate good times, come on. Because, yeah, good celebration. Anyway, the point is... you got to do the lip, quiver, But anyway, don't do that. Anyway, that popped me. I'll give you that. But they proved me wrong, Jeff. They actually proved me wrong. I did say, and I believe I was saying it to you on one of the shows we did a while back. I said they'll be lucky to sell 50,000 tickets, dude. And they've exceeded that. Unbelievably.
Well, listen. Selling tickets and people actually being at the show are two different things. And I said I wouldn't be surprised if they sell, well over 60,000 tickets. But I still think the place is going to be, 2/3 empty. You'll get 32 to 40,000 people sitting there. And, I'm already hearing stuff that a lot of the tickets are sort of part of something called Wembley Club, where if you belong to Wembley Club, either you've already bought a year-long pass to all events and you just go to the ones you want and don't go to the ones you don't. I don't know if it's like where you get first dibs.
No, it's all stadiums have got something like that, all worldwide, dude. Like Gold Club for me, for example, or an MCC member. If you go to the MCG here, where Super Showdown was at when WWE done their last PLE, for example.
Yes, and there's a lot of reason for them to be incentivized to sort of jog things. And listen, we've seen whenever AEW goes to a new market, there's an early surge in people buying tickets, and a lot of times, it turns out that they were by scalpers and resellers who ended up losing their shirts. The buildings are near full. But this is London in the summer. It's a different market. AEW hasn't been there. They haven't saturated the market. So who knows? I mean, whatever it is, unless it's totally Tony Khan or different versions of Tony Khan buying these tickets himself, it's a win for AEW. And even in that case, it probably still is. It's still revenue to AEW. Even if it's out of Tony Khan's pocket, it's still real transfer money.
It stays in the circle, Jeff.
Right. So, listen, color me skeptical, but I think that there's a lot of reason for them to be excited as the promotion. I think if you're a fan, you can be excited. Just don't be idiotic about it, because I mean we've seen this movie before with the sellouts and the buildings not actually being occupied. So let's see. We'll wait and see. Well, I'm going to reserve judgment on this. I mean, unless I hear something very much to solid information, I don't plan on talking about this. I'm sure I'll be dragged into conversations, but I don't plan on talking much about this other than as the card builds itself until the night of August 27th or the day of August 28th, when we know what happened.
Well, to their credit, I mean, whoever's bought all these tickets is based off no card yet. That's something. That should tell you something. I mean, this is the same country that actually ate up TNA, Impact Wrestling, bro. Think about that. They were selling out big arenas over there over Impact Wrestling when they were getting fuck all in the States at the time. Think about that.
I don't know what to think about that. I can't understand the British sensibilities. I mean, they're so similar to the rest of us, but so different also. I mean, some of their TV shows I just don't understand.
I hate their TV shows, dude.
I love some of them, but they're science fiction. Like, I've never been a Doctor Who person, but people who like Doctor Who love Doctor Who.
Top Boy is the only good English show for me, I thought, anyway.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. I mean, listen, it's this is not unusual. I mean, WrestleMania sold out. Basically sold 110,000 tickets before there was a match announced.
Right, but that's WrestleMania, dude.
I understand, but Cardiff did the same thing. I mean,
again, WWE.
So I know, but I mean, I understand that AEW is not the brand that WWE is, but it's been around now for 4 years, and they haven't had a British show. So there's 4 years of demand.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm going to call the AEW Marktards now, from now on, the AEW Crab Cats.
Okay, well,
that's
I don't know what that means.
And the Bear Cats. Neither do I.
They might be speaking with their sterling and their quids.
Well, they're definitely speaking with their sterling and their quids. Whether that's TK's quid or TK's sterling,
why don't you call them
is
Mark
another question.
Quids?
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Mark Quids, like Mark Quids, literally. The AEW Mark Quids, the UK fan base only.
It's a little bit confusing with Mark Quinn, but since he never wrestled, it doesn't matter.
Well, the point is, all the AEW Mark Tuds on Twitter especially are rejoicing. It's party time for these guys. I think they're only guys. I don't know. I'm not sure. But the point is, they're literally, I saw you and your controversy on Twitter. I thought I'd stay out of it, Jeff, because even though you got a lot of attention for it, they came out like did you see what the comments?
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, they were roasting you, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh,
about which one?
About the collision fucking thing that you were saying about TK paying his own way.
I've seen a little bit about that, but not much.
I was gonna jump in and actually help you out. Then I'm like, oh, these guys are savages.
Well, listen. When TV shows get money, they announce the money. It wasn't a mystery how much AEW was getting.
And I actually agree with you. That's what's funny.
They go public with it. So
right.
Why is this secret? Why and it's not like this is not unusual. On my Garden Views this week, I had a Hollywood a woman named Marlene Sharp who worked for Disney. She worked for Sega. She's worked for a bunch of companies. And back in the day when Saban started with the Power Rangers, they were not sure it was going to make any money in the U.S. And the toy company, Saban, paid for the TV show for like 2 or 3 years.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, right. And so this is done. They paid because they didn't think the show was going to do well. They bought the time. They pre-bought like a couple seasons.
Well, it was a Japanese show originally, right? That's what it was big in Japan,
show.
Right?
The show did not do very well that year, but the toy company paid for like seasons 2 and 3, and then it became a hit. And they've been selling toys ever since and making movies. So this is not unusual. It used to be the norm. The wrestling promoters paid TV stations for their time. Famously, Vince McMahon would pay more for the TV time for his competitors, so you'd see WWF instead of UWF in the same time slot. There was that one week where Georgia Championship Wrestling was WWF, and everyone's like, what the hell? We all having the same fever dream? And then like a week later, it was back to Georgia Championship Wrestling because the local station's like, we don't want your money. This is causing us too much problems. But this is done. Everyone's in this big TV, big money era now. Meanwhile, while they're telling us that ratings don't matter and nobody watches TV and only old people watch TV and streaming is the future. Meanwhile, every streaming service is broke.
Yeah, it's true. But to be fair, there's too much. There's too much out there. Think about it. Becoming subscribing to all these. Your Netflixes, your whatever. Like, there's all sorts of shit to choose from, right? You're pretty much paying for the same cost as having a cable box.
You can easily, if you get all of the subscription services.
Disney, Paramount, right.
Right, and a lot of the cable services come with, so if you subscribe to HBO, you get HBO Max.
Right, exactly.
So listen, it's in my interest if this is all true that the AEW PLEs are going to be coming to HBO Max. I no longer have to worry about paying for these PLEs, these choices that sometimes I've been forced to make, other times not for reasons. So that's a good thing. But it's part of, this is not forever. I think he's going to be giving them Collision for the second half of the year, 5 months of the year, and if it does well. It's going to be part of the package that starts when the contract renews. So it's not like he's giving them the show forever. He wants AEW to be part of the Warner Brothers Discovery integration, part of the branding, almost like WWE is to Comcast, Universal, and Peacock. It's you think of where regardless of SmackDown's on Fox, you think WWE, you think USA, you think Monday Night Raw still, even though SmackDown's the more popular show at the moment. I think that's what Tony Khan wants. He wants like this network affiliation. Maybe it has something to do with he named 2 belts after the networks, which was kind of dumb to do in the first place. But yeah, this is I'm going to give you this. And as more signs of good faith, Dark and Dark Elevation gone. They're gone. They didn't even announce Dark was canceled. They announced Elevation, and Dark mysteriously just wasn't on.
Yeah, I found that strange how they just did that, like out of nowhere, with no fanfare, no nothing.
Yeah, but I don't know why people like get crazy about it. Like, isn't it okay to love AEW and know that it doesn't need to make money because the owner is feeding his he's paying for his hobby, to make himself happy? Isn't that enough that you're getting what you want, that you need to fool yourself into it's profitable? If Warner Brothers Discovery wanted more wrestling, they would have given Ring of Honor a TV show. It's no different than AEW. It's the same people.
I agree. I think Ring of Honor now is going to become the de facto Dark, pretty much.
Well, yeah, for tapings, but Ring of Honor is taped, every 2 months, like for 4 days. So it's not like they're going to get weekly work, but yeah.
Well, Jeff, we've got a special guest in his house. It's not just the two of us. It's going to be a menage a trois, as a matter of fact, as it usually
this is
always
the wrong kind of menage a trois. I know that already without even knowing who it is.
Oh, no. It's the right menage a trois, as a matter of fact. Believe me, you'll be happy with this menage a trois. Put it that way.
Stop saying menage a trois.
Am I teasing too much?
Well, I'm already upset with the menage a trois because you're one of the trois.
Well, that's all right, because look who it is. It's the magnanimous. It is the glorious. It is the HMG and PW Hustle Zone. Chavella Vera Cruz, the professor.
You know, me and Jeff sometimes agree and disagree, but I agree with Jeff. A menage a trois of this magnitude? Nah, I was about to delete. I was about to run out of this Uncaged link right here. But you know what? Neither here nor there. But you know what? It's great to be on Uncaged. It's great to be on the Hamin Media Group with Jimmy T and the Doctor of WrestleNomics, Jeff Lippman. So I'm very happy to be here. And you know what? Jeff has made some great points. I can't even disagree with him. And Jeff, to be honest with you, I've been fighting some people on the social media too, because you know what? This is the way I look at it here. And I'll just backtrack a little bit about the Collision stuff so Jeff can retort back too. I'll say this. I say because we don't even know when the new TV contract will kick in, right, Jeff? So we are assuming, right, that Collision is going to start in June, right? So it is still on the back end of a current TV deal. Right. So let me educate the Haminites out there. Let me educate on the AEW Marktards here. You know what? Warner Brothers Discovery is doing? They're amending the current TV contract to include Collision, but that does not mean, guys, that they're pumping more money into it. They're not pumping more money into Tony Khan's pockets. That won't happen until 2024 or when the new contract will kick in. So in essence, Jeff is right to a degree. Tony Khan is putting out a product for WBD for free. He's not getting money out of this. He's getting his money out of Dynamite. He's getting his money out of Rampage. That's what it was asked. That's what the current contract is really entailing. There's nothing that has to include Collision. There's nothing that includes the streaming deal. It will kick in 2024. It's not to say that Tony Khan is stupid. I think Tony Khan is just desperate to just pump out new content for them to, let's just say, cater to the masters, if you understand where I'm going with this. So you cater to the masters. Well, that's the menage a trois Tony Khan has no choice to be in. But when you had the cocaine in your nose, he's happy to do that. But that's what it is. So let's just say for the next 6 months, he's not getting money out of Collision. He's going to have to, he's got overhead for the production he's got to do. He's got to rent the buildings. So, he's going to have to, on the weekends. And then he's going to have to pay the guys and gals who probably might have booked themselves or committed themselves to other wrestling organizations. Right. So there's going to be that dichotomy right now. So that's where I'll say
they're going to need more money on their contract. I mean, it's a lot cheaper to rent an arena on Wednesday night than it is on Saturday night.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's like a weekend at Bernie's.
And if this is going to be preempted for the same reasons that Rampage has been preempted, and why wouldn't it? And it's going to face stiff non-preemption competition like NFL games and college football games and major league games, as well. I mean, Saturday night is a death spot, so it can't. You can't invest all that in live acts. So there's no way it's always going to be a live show. There may be times when they're doing shows on a Saturday night that they turn it into a live show, but I think most of them are not going to be. And logistically, I don't know how they're going to figure that out exactly. And what's Tony Khan's weakness? Logistics. I mean, planning and logistics just ain't his thing. I mean, that's one of his weaknesses anyway. So I guess that's what Will Washington is supposed to help with, who, as I understand it, has no experience in any of those things. Jeff Jarrett, is he the one that's going to be planning it? I mean, at least he has experience in it. I don't know. Whatever it is, this, it was going to be a hard roster split. Now it's already softening up. But why is it softening up? Because if, in fact, Warner Bros. Discovery ever really gave a damn about CM Punk being part of it, you think they want him on the Saturday night show when nobody's home, when it's going to do maybe $400,000 viewers? No, they want him on the Wednesday night show. They want him on during the week when people are home.
Well, it's going to be like this. The first 2 weeks, right? Let's just say hypothetically, first 2 weeks out of curiosity, out of the fandom, it's going to pop a good number. It's going to pop a good number that's going to exceed expectations. My thing is week 3. Week 3, we'll know where, the fanfare will kind of drop. Then you'll get the particulars there. You'll get the normals. So you'll see the normal range. So I can't say the first 2 weeks is the gauge. Right, week 3 and beyond is the gauge of ratings. Number 1. Number 2, I go with Jeff on the logistic part. That's a little bit like you have to wonder, like the Saturday watching of the masses. You got college football, you'll have weekend football, you have weekend baseball, you have other stuff to watch. So maybe, I don't know, I think Warner Brothers is not going to say that if they're going to pay them, it's got to be live content, Jeff. So I would say this, why wouldn't you put Collision, since it is a Saturday death trap, if to a degree, why wouldn't you put it exclusively on Max, right? So, you have something, if it's live, you try to do what WWE did for Peacock, because as far as I understand, because of WWE, their viewership for Peacock, they're the highest rated stuff, right? So you give something to Max, have Collision be one of the highest rated viewerships for the Max streaming services, and see if that wrestling will pop.
Are they higher than Vanderpump Rules?
Well, for streaming, it will probably be, but I don't know about on TV.
I mean, Vanderpump does rule, in fact.
On a Wednesday, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
On Wednesday network television, on Wednesday cable television. We don't know about the streaming thing.
The older and the odder she looks, the more people watch. Like when that show, when she was first on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she sort of looked like Jacqueline Smith with big boobs. Now it's like she's like basically unrecognizable.
Well, there's a fetish for everything. So if it's odd breasts is a good fetish.
Well, apparently it's AEW fans because they're choosing Vanderpump Rules instead of Dynamite.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. I don't know if you saw all the AEW marktards on Twitter go berserk over what Jeff said on Twitter. And like I said, I wanted to come in and save him so bad, and then I saw how everyone's reacting. I'm like, wow.
Maybe I have.
You got to check it out.
Maybe I have those people.
You got a lot of retweets.
Wait. So well, to be fair, I'll say this. To be fair here, social media, everything changes on the bubbles. Right now, AEW marktards are celebrating like the Wembley Stadium thing. So whatever Jeff said even before that or perceived that's not even an issue. Unless, Jeff, you said something about Wembley Stadium and you said something about ticket sales. I don't know about that. So, they move on to the next thing. So right now they're celebrating 50,000 ticket sales for Wembley Stadium, or whatever the number is, 60,000
billion tickets.
It's probably higher right now, as a matter of fact.
Well, it depends on the logistics of the way they set up.
Well, yeah. I mean, people
are renting huge translucent blimps, and they're just going to fly over there and float and watch from above.
Well, it's true. I mean, look,
Jimmy, are you going to venture to Wembley Stadium? I mean, you're closer to me.
No, you're closer. As a matter of fact, it's only a 5-hour plane trip from the States to the UK. So, Yeah, no, it is. It's true. I mean, we're over the pond from you guys on the, on the Pacific side. They're on the Atlantic side, aren't they?
They sure are.
Yeah, all Atlantic. Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, maybe you guys should go. It'd be a lot cheaper. Would you go? Have you been to the UK, Jeff?
No, I think changing airports doesn't count. I actually had to go from Heathrow?
Heathrow, yeah.
What's the name of the other airport? Gatwick, or something like that.
I have no idea.
I had to transfer from one airport to the other.
To be honest, even though the UK, well, on the PwC network, that is our third or fourth highest listener base, I've never had a desire to really go to the UK. It just seems too I'd
like to go, but
yeah.
Listen, I was supposed to go to the Philomanthropology conference on the Isle of Man, maybe, or Isle of Wight, I think it was on. But I got budget cut out of it. But hopefully this year it's going to be in Edinburgh, and hopefully that I will be going this year to Edinburgh for the Philomanthropology conference.
Well,
but that's
if you go in August, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, well, it'll be October. And it's again Scotland, which is in the UK, a part of Great Britain, but it's
you're going to be bored out of your brains.
I doubt it. I'm going to be surrounded by people who are as crazy as I am.
Yeah, you're gonna hate how everyone sounds like Gallus, pretty much. You go, Jeffrey, would you come over here, Jeffrey? Banger after banger.
The only new city that I've been to that I was bored by the city was Indianapolis.
Whoa. Don't tell Jago that. Have every young Jago. Shout outs to Jago.
I just did.
Yeah, you just did. I don't know if Indiana's boring or not, but I can see that for some reason.
Listen, I've been to a lot of cities, and if there's a steakhouse and some bars, you can have a good time in the city. It's normally the company that you keep.
Are you saying Indiana doesn't have good company?
I'm saying the company I was with wasn't great.
Well, Prof, you've been just about everywhere. I mean, you came from Utah. I mean, just recently. As a matter of fact,
I'd rather go to Indiana than Utah. So I'll just say that, number one.
Too cold for you, bro?
No, just what Jeff said. The company you keep. I don't know about Utah, but I'll try Indianapolis. I'll try jarring those people.
Yeah, me too. Well, just quietly, me and Chris, while we were recording the skirmish yesterday, it's funny, we were talking about Willa Utah, right? That little shit that Danielson called. Mm-hmm. And it was funny. We thought, why don't they just call him, they repackage him literally as Utah from Utah? I mean, why not? Willa Utah.
How is that going to change anything?
Nothing. It won't. He's just from Utah. That's it.
Oh,
why not?
You know what sells? Not Utah.
That's AEW logic. I mean, that's TK logic, is it not?
No. What would sell is actually calling. What would sell is actually calling him little shit. You put it on a T-shirt, AEWshop.com. People will buy it.
People will chant little shit.
Yes, they would.
I'm waiting for that. Actually, that's a good call. Well, it's time for celebrating, guys. They've sold probably over 70,000 tickets. I mean, scalpers are running wild, brother. You know what I mean? I bet you they are. But nevertheless, it's a success. Is it safe to say they've already succeeded? They've exceeded my expectations. I didn't think they would.
Oh, of course it's a success.
Oh, what?
Success. It's hard to speak and dance at the same time.
Well, it is a catchy song. We got to celebrate.
Jeff, you're jiggling. You're jiggling, man. You're jiggling. Getting seasick.
Jiving me, turkey.
Listen, turn off the music. I can't stop when it's on.
He's a gyrator.
A lot of bar mitzvahs. I'm trained. Once this comes on, it's out to the dance floor. You go. It's like Pavlovian. I can't stop it.
Pavlovian.
It's not Pavlovian.
Oh.
The chairman of WBD.
Have you had a good old Pavlova before, Jeff?
He's not going to answer your question, Jimmy.
Damn.
He's dancing.
Damn. All right, enough celebrating, Jeff. Put your hands down, dude. Come on now. Enough. All right.
I was just doing the Batusi.
Before we get into Rampage proper, since we've got our resident Puerto Rican in the house, the good old Boricua right here, how do you feel about Backlash? And did you like SmackDown, as a matter of fact, Prof? I mean, everyone in Puerto Rico was totally sucking it all up, man. They were loving it over there.
Well, they were loving Bad Bunny's there. They were loving the Puerto Rican LWO shirts. I just purchased one off of WWE shop, so I'm going to rock
Dom
that.
is a heat magnet. Hey, it looks nice. I like it.
And Dominic Mysterio is, the most hated man in professional wrestling, and that's bar none. The professor does his Perspective Awards. He's already hands down winning the career, Renaissance Award for 2023. So I'm putting it out there. So
I'm with you, Prof. I've been praising him pretty much the whole year. And I was getting shat on, bro.
Right. People can
Until
analyze.
now.
People can analyze what is Dom going to do after Rey Mysterio. I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm thinking what he's doing right now. I'm thinking what he's doing right now. So, right now he is killing it.
He is, Jeff. Whether you like him or not, he's killing it.
I've said it the entire time. He's doing great in this role, but I do worry about what's going to happen next when Ray's not there, and more to the point when Rhea is not there also. But for now, he's killing it.
I just think the kid gets it, man. Like, if you want to call him a kid, he's still only 26.
You're saying he gets it. He gets.
I'm talking about
this.
Psychology-wise.
Yes, he understands this psychology. But listen, Stone Cold, he could get it no matter who he was facing. The Rock could get it no matter who he was facing.
That's special talents now. I'm not comparing him to Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock.
Special guest.
Oh,
Hello, how are you?
It's La Sicaria.
Yes.
I think it's the first time on Uncaged on channelattitude.com. How are you, Viv?
Good, thank you. Just coming from the market shopping.
Anything good at the market? At the marqueta?
Look how she dressed to go to the market. Look at this. Too sexy.
Hey, very classy.
Cares. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Jeff cares.
Yes, but there are a lot of old people.
Sure.
She's keeping them alive. She's a hero. What happened to the professor?
Oh, did he get intimidated by La Sicaria?
Yeah. Did he need to take a bathroom break? What happened?
He done this last time. He'll be back. He does this. He'll be back, no doubt about it. Anything good at the market, Viv? What'd you get?
All the fish, salmon, tilapia, tuna fish, and Alaska fish. Only fish.
Only fish. You love fish?
The diet. Yes, we get always. And you?
You know what? I should. I do like. Look, I don't mind octopus, right? Even though if you want to call it fish, I love flake. I'm not the biggest fan of like snapper, stuff like that. I like tuna, of course.
Yes, it's very good.
And I don't mind crab and lobster.
We love
yeah. But I should eat more of it. I love my meats too much. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If you can tell. Too much meat.
How's your girlfriend?
She's good. She's actually over there. She's doing something on the computer. I don't think she even knows.
Watching porn.
She can hear me. Oh, she's put her hand up. She can. Okay. She's good.
Say hello for me, please.
La Sicaria says hi, D. Hey. Did you hear her? She's like, hey.
Thank you. Okay, nice to see you.
Likewise. You
Thank
too.
You. Bye.
Bye-bye. Jeff?
Mm-hmm. I'm here.
You've done well, man. You've done well.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I got rid of the professor and raised our sexiness quota in one fell swoop.
Has he met her before?
I think so.
Oh, mate, because maybe, he's like, oh, shit, what's going on?
No, I think they've met before.
Okay,
I'm not sure. Matt.
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
These days, this is how you meet people now, Jeff.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure.
Even though we've never met in, the real world, per se, I still consider the fact that I've met you. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Oh, there he is. He's back.
Sorry about that. Had a Wi-Fi issue. Had to
I don't
reboot.
share my airtime with no bitches.
I know. You're so convenient. It was like you disappeared when La Sicaria came on, and you came back as soon as La Sicaria left.
Right.
Oh no, I have Wi-Fi issues right now.
Conspiracy.
Is that what we call it?
I'm checking.
It would have been the threesome you wanted, the menage a trois. Then it would turn into the orgy that everybody wanted. But
Listen, if you keep having Wi-Fi issues, you're going to go blind.
I can't see you. Where are you?
Anyway, where were we before that? What were we talking about?
He was
I
going to
lost
talk
track.
about as a person of Puerto Rican descent.
That's right.
Is he excited about Backlash, and did he like SmackDown?
That's
yes, I did, and I'm happy for the Puerto Rican community. I'm happy for Bad Bunny is a
Bad Bunny.
You could tell that Bad Bunny, and I think Jeff had one of those times he was Good Bunny, right? He was the Good Bunny. I don't like
Good Bunny.
Yeah, he was the Good Bunny. So good and bad must have to fight each other. But I'm gonna have to pit Bad Bunny on that fight. But neither here nor there. But it's a good celebration for the Puerto Rican community. It's a good celebration for Puerto Rico itself. They've been, for the last couple of years with hurricanes and natural disasters that Puerto Rico is going through. And Bad Bunny's a great representative, a great celebrity that cares about the Puerto Rican community, the area of Puerto Rico itself. So, it's a great booster that WWE is doing an event over there. So, it's all good. And SmackDown last night was great. I can't complain. The energy was great. It's great when WWE goes to like places like when they did Clash at the Castle, and then they go to Puerto Rico, and then they'll go to London for Money in the Bank. You see that international flavor. It's always great to see the international flavor. And so, right. And for AEW to do Wembley Stadium, and I don't want to sidetrack on that, but it's great it will be great to see that international flavor. AEW deserves it. WWE deserves it. All wrestling companies deserve to give that international flavor to the fan base because they support it. So it's great to see it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. No, spot on, 100%. I love the fact that, WWE should go to more places like Puerto Rico and whatnot, like, where English is not the number one language per se. They bring a different atmosphere, man. It feels like a soccer crowd. Even though there was two marktards, like the Brock Lesnar guy and the guy with the green shirt that somehow get the same freaking seats even in Puerto Rico. How the fuck did they do these?
They have some membership with WWE, like that Wembley Club thing. That they probably have.
Is there such a thing though? I've never heard of this so-called membership.
Well, you're poor.
You could have an exclusive membership when you buy tickets, Jeff. I mean Jeff and Jim. But there is something that says that. Yeah, Double J.
Are we great, Prof? Come on. I mean, no. But in all seriousness, so there is.
Yeah, people. You got money. You get things.
So who do I call then? Do I call Vince? Like I'm like, hey pal.
I'll tell you who not to call. Stephanie.
Definitely not Stephanie. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure if I should even call Paul at this point. If you know what I mean. Not Hamin. I'm talking about Levesque.
You could call Shane. I think you could get a great deal from Shane.
I'm sure you can give another quad.
Yeah, everything must go.
Yeah, everything must go, including his quad.
He's going into business with Vicky Guerrero.
Oof, that's dirty.
That's the kiss of death, Jeff. That's the kiss of death.
Damn, that's bad. That's images, bro. Nah, but in all seriousness, though, it is good, and I'm happy that all of wrestling right now is thriving all over the world. But they need to
wait. Don't say that sentence, and then Jeff is kind of like the wheels are turning his head. Is wrestling successful? Is there a wrestling boom? See, you just said it. I'm just trying to be fair here because I know Jeff hears these things.
You know what? Actually, that's a good subject to actually talk about before we get into Rampage. Let's ask this a serious question. We all laughed about this next so-called wrestling boom, right? But maybe if there is a wrestling boom. You know why? Everything is measured differently now. I know ratings matter. Don't get me wrong. But the way people consume everything nowadays, there's so many different ways. If you look at WWE's revenue, like we were talking about on Smack Attack, Jeff, you could say there is a boom. I mean, think about it.
WWE is definitely in a boom period. I
mean,
every metric, live sales, PLEs, TV rights, merchandising, promotions, cross promotions,
all across
endorsements,
the board.
Advertising, being subsidized by cities, states, and nations. So definitely in a boom. I think that helps certain promotions. I think AEW, you're getting mixed signals. I mean, obviously the success of Wembley is tremendous, but their ratings are declining. Their attendance is stagnant to declining. If you're talking about the availability of consumption, sure, but who's that? I mean, a boom should mean a boom to the business, not to the consumer. I mean, when the consumers are getting things too easily, usually that goes away because it's a house of cards. But I think at the top, listen, if AEW had better management, they could also be enjoying a real boom. I mean, if they were,
not like a Dynamite boom,
not like it looks like they're doing well but losing money. But I've said it a million times. I'll say it one more time. If Tony Khan isn't losing more money than he can stomach, and he's willing to subsidize forever, and Warner Brothers Discovery makes money on the ads, and the arenas are okay, and the merch people get paid, and the wrestlers are getting paid, great. It's just that I know that there's fools with money, but I don't know a lot of rich people who are legitimately rich who enjoy losing money for long. And while it seems like he can do it endlessly, see his behavior in public, see his behavior on social media. He seems like he's
spoiled
getting
child, dude.
Right. Well, he's getting more and more rattled, though, more easily, which means that he's feeling pressure from somewhere, whether it's internally
100%.
or whatever. So that's all I'll say about that. But if it was a boon all along, I mean, Impact is having a bit of a renaissance, but they got back to their numbers when Kenny Omega left as champion. So, and they're selling out houses. They tape once a month, and they're selling out a 500-person arena.
I was just going to say, right.
A boon for the third biggest promotion in the country?
Not really.
I don't think so. I mean, Ring of Honor exists, but nobody knows their numbers. But if they were going up, they'd announce them. We don't even get their pay-per-view buys anymore, which traditionally has meant less than 10,000, sometimes a lot less than 10,000. If you look at the YouTube shows, well, now 2 of them went away. MLW is making its way back to YouTube, and NWA's viewership. Listen, when Cornette made his bad joke, NWA was doing between 250 and 300,000 views on YouTube a week in their first week. They now do 33 or 34,000 after 2 weeks. Sometimes they get up above 50. Like 3 weeks ago, it's up to 73,000, but the one from 2 weeks ago, it's up to 33,000. This week so far has done 34,000. So I mean, you want to call that a boon? No. So the rich are getting richer. If that's what you consider a boon,
professional wrestling.
But the rich of professional wrestling are getting richer. In this case, I'm excluding Tony Khan from it. I'm talking about your high pay, your Bryans,
right?
Hardys, Jericho. They're getting richer. Britt Baker. But if you want to take the attitude, just enjoy wrestling, I don't really care about the business aspects, that's fine. I'm just telling you, that's how WCW fans felt. That's how AWA fans felt. That's how Lucha Underground fans felt. That's how ECW fans felt. That's how Terminus fans felt for the 6 months it existed. That's how Control Your Narrative fans felt for the 8 months it existed.
Did you get the best of DVD, Jeff? The Terminus and Control Your Narrative?
I did not. I deleted it.
You did?
Yeah.
I wanted to control our narrative.
As far as ease of consumption, sure, you can find all these things on BR Report and on Fight TV, but you know the wrestling.
And we watch wrestling.ir.
Right. They get fractions of a penny per month per user. I mean, that maybe that's enough to keep the lights on. I don't know. I have said a million times I don't understand how MLW is still in business. I know how NWA is. Billy Corgan is licensing Smashing Pumpkins songs to everything and anything.
He's pimping himself out to these concerts, dude. He needs to keep doing that shit. Right. Otherwise, that company is going boom, literally.
And you told me NWA is doing an Australian tour. My first question is are the Smashing Pumpkins touring there?
That's true.
There you go. He brought 9 people from NWA with him. Got some indie talent that he calls the NWA tour, which is being paid for.
Literally, that's what he was doing, dude.
That's it. And listen, whatever.
That's the thing. It's just like, how do you define wrestling boom? So the fans will define wrestling boom as where you can watch it, how to watch it, and all that stuff. The wrestlers will define wrestling boom as where can I work? Will the check clear? And all that stuff. So there is a boom on that end. So in the business aspect, Jeff, you're 100% right. I don't know about the books of AEW. You know the books of WWE because they have to, show their quarterlies,
Right.
Every couple of months. So we
That was
we
an
will
impressive
determine.
first quarter, though, Prof. By
Yeah,
WWE.
it was. But they're the only ones that can do it. They're the only ones that can show,
Right.
if they're making money, if they're losing money. So they're the only ones. So for other wrestling promotions like MLW, NWA, Impact Wrestling, AEW, private companies, they don't have to tell us what they made. Well, I know Tony Khan will tell you what they made because if it's positive, like the Wembley thing, he'll say we made $6 million so far. But they're not going to say what they lost. They're not going to say what they lost.
No.
Billy
100%.
Corgan's not going to say what we lost. Court Bauer's not going to say what we lost. But they will say the positives, accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. That's the wrestling boom in a nutshell for the wrestling fans and the mark-tards themselves.
Right.
Jeff, did you have
No,
anything else to say?
everything you said
Okay.
is spot on. Everything
Well,
you
yeah,
said
I
was
agree.
dissertation worthy. That probably better than Nikki Cross's dissertation.
Sure. Well, boys, I think we've covered enough of those news for the first 44 minutes, believe it or not. So let's get into the great show that's called Rampage. I will say this though, guys, I felt Rampage was much better than Dynamite. For the first time in a long time, I'm going to say that I gave Dynamite a legit F. For real, it was that bad. There was no star power. Think about it. No Kenny, no Moxley, no Danielson, no. There was. I know I'm missing more, right? No Willa Yuta.
All the people you just mentioned were in promos.
Yeah, from the week before.
Kenny looking into space.
Yeah, and if you see, he had like welts on his chest. He was topless, like he just had a match, even though he was in the back.
Live. They were pre-recorded, but they were on the show. I mean, the four pillars are their stars, right?
Oh,
right?
this
Maybe
fucking
right? Adam
cringe.
Cole, a star, right?
Oh
right?
yes, of course he is. Big star.
Big
And Chris Jericho, a megastar. So
Megastar.
you got star power, Jimmy.
I mean, the House of Black just announced this sort of convoluted, sort of open challenge with a 20 count. You can choose whether
First time ever, Jeff. Get it right.
Right, first time ever, and then the next thing we see is a trios battle royal, which you assume the winning team gets a shot at the trios.
The El Jobber, El Trios, El Tres.
But it doesn't matter. They just issued
Royale?
an open challenge. What do you have a trios battle royal if your trios team is issuing an open challenge? Let them issue the open challenge.
It's an open bukkake session.
After
Okay.
the trios,
I can wait. Hold on, Jeff. I can defend the trios battle royal.
We've had too many battle royals.
No.
Come on.
But I can defend it. I'm not saying it's right. I can defend why they did it. You know what it is? It's just they want to showcase who are the trios besides the Dark Order, besides the Elite, besides BCC. You gotta filter out some other people and see where we're gonna go with this. I ain't saying it's right, but I'm just saying because we need to see this trios division, which I kept saying is more deeper than the AEW tag team division. That's one thing that we have to understand here. Why is your trios division more deeper than your tag team division when the best tag team in the world, FTR, has no teams to fight? That's the problem.
Because tag teams aren't in anymore. It's all
I
about
have
the
no issue
splits.
with the trios battle royal at all. I have sort of an issue with the House of Black's open challenge rules.
And they threw the belts onto the floor too, mind you.
But the
piece of
rules are some of the rules, they don't make sense with each other. There's no rope breaks. Well, wouldn't there be no rope breaks and there be 20 counts if you choose no DQ anyway? I mean, that's all it's going to be.
Did you know? Wait, what, Jeff and Jimmy?
Let me just finish this one greater point because it's a little bit confusing and convoluted. But why do this? Then have the trios battle royal, make that a title match, and then after the House of Black retains, then let them issue this challenge with this Rube Goldberg rules. I don't really have a big problem with either one. It's just you do the one promo, then you have this trios battle royal, which is apparently for nothing. It's like if you're running a show, you go, wait a minute, we have a promo here. We've got trios battle royal. That should lead to a title match. Great. That's something we could call a main event on Rampage or Dynamite. And then they can issue, then they retain, and then they issue this challenge next week. And now we have a 5-minute segment promo, and we can talk about it for another 90 seconds on commentary. Now we have a segment for the next show. That's all I'm saying. It's order, and this is not just I was saying the same thing about the draft and then the WWE World Title Tournament. The order doesn't make any sense.
Oh my
this whole
God.
thing with the Britt Baker shirt, and then later on they tell you that the bad guys
get me
made
started
the
on
shirt,
that.
and it's part of storyline. Like the order, I'm not even saying things are good ideas or bad ideas. I'm just saying the chronological order of presenting things on TV makes no sense. It's like backwards world.
It's true. Go ahead, Prof.
I'm just saying that. Did you notice that the House of Rules Open Challenge sounds more like an ROH pure title match with the 20 count, the no rules, no rope breaks or something like that. So the trios titles has turned into the pure trios titles. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Did
the
you know
pure fucking gaga titles, man.
DQ, there's no DQ in pure rules, and there's no 20 count in pure rules either. I mean, there are no rope breaks. There's also no closed fists and stuff like that. But I don't know. The no rope break seems. I mean, this is a lot for commentary and the referee to keep track.
It's a lot
of.
for me for crying out loud, Jeff.
Right. But especially AEW referees who are not supposed to be enforcing the rules anyway. I mean, the 20 count's easy for them. Hopefully everyone will pick no DQ because then they don't have to enforce anything.
It is a no DQ. That's what it is. I don't even understand why they're selling this as some sort of new gimmick, revolutionary gimmick.
If someone picks no DQ, wouldn't the House of Black just immediately nutshot them all?
You think?
And then shoot mist in their face and then get the pin? I mean, so of course you're going to pick DQs.
The only thing that I have that I question is like wasn't the House of Black doing something with JAS, and then that's sort of like disappeared. It sort of like went to the side. I'm just saying.
I've got the black wand like the Men in Black, man.
You're exactly
that's it.
Correct.
Forget about it.
And also, wasn't there a time when Sammy Guevara, Tay Conti, and Anna JAS were part of the JAS?
I don't know what you're talking about. Just forget it. It never happened. Wipe it.
You know what you need to get?
It.
I don't got my sunglasses. I don't got the
you need the Men in Black GIF where Will Smith puts the light in, and just put that in. Instead of saying it never happened, just put that up.
That's all you need. Yep, that's it. Forget it. Don't ask questions that can't be answered. It doesn't matter. That was in a different planet, different world, different AEW, different TK.
Then you got to deneuralize me, Jimmy. You got to deneuralize me again. I still have some kind of.
Wait a minute.
Bad dreams. I have bad dreams
here.
Right now. Okay.
There you go. Forget what I.
We're talking about Rampage. We're talking about the Deletion match, right? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, speaking of this, AEW is the multiverse of wrestling.
Yeah, the multiverse. Mm-hmm. Right. More like the Alzheimer's of the wrestling universe.
More like the House of Mirrors.
Oh, yeah. Actually, look into the Russian mirrors. You'll be intrigued. That's a good episode for Garden of Doom, as a matter of fact, Jeff, which you can check out.
If you ever produced the mythology show or the Israeli show.
I've been thinking of that. Hey, was Chris on that show? Just answer that question.
It is great, the amount of things you think of.
But was Chris on that show by any chance?
Which show?
The Israeli show.
No, it was two
Thank you.
Israel.
That's all I need to know. I knew he wasn't, but D claims he was. It doesn't matter.
It was an Arab Israeli and a Jewish
I know that. But anyway, don't worry. We're arguing about it 2 days ago.
I took half a day of work off to try and accommodate their time when they both had it available.
That's funny. Well, anyway, let's go to Rampage there, and we start off with a Phoenix.
He's going to get me the show, and that day, the Greenland shelf was going to fall into the sea, and we're all going to be dead an hour later.
No, we're not. Because have no fear. I told you, Phoenix is here.
Heaven's seal.
I told you, there's a Phoenix, there's a Pentagon, and a Seaman called a Viking. But also there's QT and Solo with Hobbs. What the hell was this? I couldn't care less about this match. Guys, anyone?
This was a story. There was a story. Because of the Trios Battle Royal, because of what was going on during the Trios Battle Royal, resulted in this clash on Rampage.
Not only was there a story, this was an integral plot point in the Book of Hobbs. This is more of the ascension of Hobbs as he goes from being meandering around to a star to being squashed to being stuck with QT Marshall and Aaron Solo and losing to a guy who's not under contract to AEW and to the Ring of Honor tag.
Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, Jeff. Who cares?
I mean, a guy comes in from outside that's not signed to your company. He eats the pin. That's the way wrestling's supposed to work.
That's how it's supposed to work, but not here, man.
So
not here.
More of nothingness with Hobbs. No, this is they're killing the guy. And who could have seen it coming? Oh, everyone saw it coming. And the only person
who said it
is QT Marshall, who told us we don't understand the inner workings of the professional wrestling business.
Yeah,
we don't understand how QT just keeps getting on TV when it's timely, when it's convenient. Yes, I don't get that, Jeff. You got to understand that. We don't get that. We don't understand how QT can still get on TV. We understand what QT does behind the scenes, but I guess they're rewarding QT with TV time for this, and somebody has to be a sacrificial lamb, and the sacrificial lamb is Hobbs, which has untapped potential and all that stuff. So to be on this QTV, and I know people were like, oh, they're saying like, oh, this was it was a untapped potential segment. It was cute. It had its funny moments. I never liked it from jump. I don't care about it because what you're trying to do is just create TMZ, and then Hobbs was the black guy with the dreads. That was insulting.
Ooh, that's fat. Hey, you know what? He's talking truth right there.
And the Book of Hobbs has got nothing to do with TMZ. The Book of Hobbs was a journey for Hobbs to get over his demons, to get over his adversity, and to become an ass-kicking monster.
Right.
He was there.
A monster. He was a monster, bro.
He was the man star, whatever he was calling himself. But he was there as the TNT champion. Was I expecting him to hold
into quicksand?
Well,
right.
You know what
was I expecting him to hold it? Right. Was I expecting him to hold the title for a year or like Roman Reigns for 4 years? No, I'm not expecting him to hold it, but I'm expecting him to get to the next level. And he was well on his way.
7-8 month respectable title, right?
If Jay Cargill can still hold the TBS championship, then why can't he hold the TNT championship for just as long?
And if you watch Dynamite, you saw nobody gives a shit about Wardlow anymore. So
nobody. Did you hear that? It was crickets.
You want to know? I do understand how the inner workings of professional wrestling business work. You have the right friends. You pretend that you're useful. You make them think that you're useful, even though you're useless. And and you get your way despite your stars, because the truth of the matter is the people at the top of that company don't want new stars. They want to keep their spots. It's just that there's a slightly bigger clique of them.
Well, there's all sorts of cliques. Too many cliques, probably. I mean, look how many trios there are. I mean, seriously, it's deeper than the tag team division, like the professor said. And anyway, and you know what's funny? You bring up about how Hobbs is supposed to be the black guy with the dreads, right? On
TMZ.
What's it called? TMZ, yeah. It's just like, what's her name? The Aussie chick, right? Because there's an Aussie chick on TMZ as well. Like, everyone's playing the exact roles of whoever the person is from TMZ.
The skits could have been funny, except they were supposed to be a vehicle to I get Hobbs on TV, even if there wasn't time for a match. But it just made him look stupid. And so to make it worse, they weren't funny. The jokes weren't clever. They weren't hitting. They went too fast. They didn't let the jokes marinate. Like everyone doesn't watch TMZ.
I know. Anyway,
was Hobbs supposed to be the straight man while QT was supposed to be funny? No. Especially, again, you having two different gimmicks for Hobbs going on simultaneously. Book of Hobbs and then QTV Hobbs is not the same thing. That's the problem with it.
Right.
Well, to give some credit to the cutie one, whatever you want to call him, he looks in better shape though. Actually, as a matter of fact, you got to give him that.
Okay,
just saying, he's at least trying somewhere. Yeah, maybe not so much in the ring, but you know,
big guy with cantaloupe-like shoulders. Yes, I'm jealous of his shoulders. Yeah, he's in good shape.
Cantaloupe.
He's not a good wrestler, and
he's a cantaloupe. Damn it!
And I can't think of a wrestler he's trained that's gone on to do anything special. And if there wasn't an AEW
monsters
hire all of his friends, most of them probably wouldn't be on TV. Most of the ones that he trained that are on TV work for AEW.
Well, the factory does produce some of the finest quality wrestlers, Jeff. I'm just saying.
It's a factoria.
I'd love to see one sometime.
Yeah. I wonder who that is. It's got to be one, surely.
I know Lee Johnson, Captain Sean Dean. You got
Where are
Brock
they?
Anderson, Aaron
Brock?
Solo, Anthony Ogogo is gone.
Brock Lesnar. Who are Go-Go?
Camarado was the man, and then he turned into House.
The Godfather Camarado, mind you.
Red Velvet. Where the fuck is she?
Red Velvet. She's velvet her ass right out of here, man. That's where she went.
Sky Blue. She can't wrestle.
Sky Blue. She's Sky Red now.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's flown the coop. She took an airline. She's flying the blue skies.
She got caught in the propellers, in the plane.
I don't know. Name one. Give me a wrestler they've trained.
Cody was part of the Factoria, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an investor. I mean, he was already trained.
Well, he lost a lot of money then.
No, I'm sure that I'm sure
he shut it down, man.
Pays for it.
Oh well. Anyway,
or he rebranded it, Jimmy.
Cool.
Anyway,
right.
we had
the Nightmare Factory.
We had a terrible trio.
Because that's what it was.
With
a nightmare.
Kingo, right?
More Seaman. Like I've been. Do you remember that game, Prof, on the Dreamcast?
Which one?
Seaman, literally Seaman. You're a seaman. Anyway, I've said this to Jeff before, but this is a true story. Play the game Seaman or look it up. Right? It is literally sperms with big heads. I kid you not. They look exactly like Vikingo. I'm telling you.
I got a nostalgic console, so I'm gonna have to look for this game on it.
I'm telling you, it's an old classic, man. It's weird, don't get me wrong, but I'm telling you, our Hidro, our Vikingo, is a lot older than he says. Put it that way.
Okay.
And I didn't know he's a bull too.
He is?
Yeah. Did you see him come out with the bull mask?
Yeah, he's a collector of Shockmaster masks.
Hey, you know what? Kind of. I mean, I can see the resemblance, even though they're different, but I see it. He needs a trick,
Is it a bull mask or is it one of those Viking masks from back in the day that he's trying to honor that?
It's a bullshit mask.
It's like a stormtrooper mask. It's like, and then Teddy Hart bedazzled it, and they glued Bruce's bullhorns onto the side of it.
Now we're going to have cats on it by next week. Guaranteed.
It's like a little girl got a stormtrooper helmet and red sparkles all over it, and then glued
El Gato El Vikingo.
It's embarrassing. It's as embarrassing, more embarrassing than Luchasaurus's moving spikes that go, ooh, they flutter in the wind.
Luchasaurus, please.
I need a deneuralizer. Wasn't a couple of weeks ago, like the Lucha Brothers and Mark Briscoe kind of like were doing trios things? I don't know. I think I got neuralized.
Professor, what did I tell you?
Oh, okay. It never happened. Okay, cool. I'm just making sure. That's why I said I needed the deneuralizer.
They're no longer best friends.
They're not.
The Lucha Brothers got the Ring of Honor tag.
I got to do it to myself.
Which they talk about all the time, and they carry everywhere, and they're defending them all over the place, or not at all.
Well,
yes,
it's a Mandela effect, and I'll tell you why. Didn't they announce last week? I remember watching Rampage last week. They said I know I saw it, right? I can replay it and point it out. They announced the Kenny Omega John Moxley match for this past week's Dynamite originally for the US IWGP Championship. And now, suddenly, with no explanation, it's a cage match, and it's not for the IWGP United States Championship, and it's on the week after now with no explanation at all. What the hell happened?
Number one, it should never even been for the U.S. IWGP Championship because it has no reason, no credence. You have a storyline between BCC and the Elite, so just keep it as a grudge match. You don't need a title for that.
Right. And you shouldn't be jumping straight into a cage match when these teams actually haven't met in proper matches yet to require a cage match between, I guess.
Look, I can understand between Moxley and Kenny because of their history already in AEW, right?
I already saw Lights on
I know.
I was fucking there.
I get that. I'm totally with you.
But you got to go one level up, Jeff. You went lights out. Now you got to hit the cage between these guys. So actually, it makes sense for them to up the ante.
Rage in the cage, baby.
It was November of 2019.
Doesn't matter, Jeff. Forget it.
I can't tell if you're like a priest trying to ward off.
I was thinking that.
What's happening there?
I was thinking that. Amen. Anyway,
he's not a priest because there's no boy underneath that dust, so it's all right.
We've already got a priest. His name's Damien. Okay, Just forget any other priest. Anyway, look, the point is, they announced it. It didn't happen. And now it's happening in the cage. Whatever. Cool.
First of all, the only priest I recognize is Papa Shango.
Ah, good call. Good call. But
Maybe Brother Love.
But he's got a brother who was a pimp, apparently. Yeah, true. What about the
Pope
fighting
John
machine?
Paul II. Maybe Pope John Paul. Yeah.
Jean-Paul Levesque II.
Mm-hmm.
Could he be a pope? Possibly.
I don't think so.
He's got to convert himself, though.
Oh no, he's a
I think
he's a game pope.
Kept him out of that.
Oh, I see. I guess there is God in WWE named Vince. Anyway, did I mention that the Pentagon, the Phoenix or Phoenix, and the Vikingo defeat QT Marcial, Aaron Solo, and the guy that used to walk the streets named Will. Yeah, Hobbs. Whatever.
I you mentioned that, yes, Jim.
Well,
Jade.
I just said it again. Anyway, let's move on from that because there's really nothing to really talk about there. But next we see MJF, who was irate backstage after the 4 Pillars tag bout from Dynamite. He punched a random staffer, flipped tables, and guess what, Jeff? He shouted obscenities.
Oh my goodness gracious me!
Indeed. What do you have to say here, Jeff? Anything?
MJF has. I think he flipped the tables and yelled obscenities when he saw that his segment with the other 3 pillars.
Do you blame him?
Under 700,000.
Do you blame him?
And that he, in fact, now has to look in the mirror and realize that mid is an overestimation. He is sub-mid.
Whoa, that's a bit. Hey, look, Jeff's got a point, Prof. I mean, think about it. Has he really been drawing as champion?
That's the champion's responsibility to draw, right. And for the people that he's fighting, he's got to get them over to his degree. So the numbers don't lie. It's been sub-mid, as Jeff has eloquently said. So I can't put all the blame on MJF. I have to put the blame on TK. I have to put the blame the first thing you had to do is you rushed this 4 Pillars match. I don't know.
Rushed.
Again, let me just say this. AEW, the Marktards, when you call them the Pillars, they were waiting for this match. They were waiting for this kind of concept. But the problem is, with MJF being the champion, you only needed one guy to fight him for a double or nothing, and that was Darby Allin. You start that.
Agreed. We said the same thing.
You start that program with him and Darby Allin. You introduce Darby Allin with a little bit of charisma, that he can talk a little bit. You focus on Darby Allin. The whole Pillars segments for all these weeks. You don't need to neuralize me, Jimmy, but I'm just gonna say this: the promos have been awful. And MJF cannot save the other 3 that can't talk. Yeah. Jungle Boy can't talk. Darby can talk a little bit.
Darby can slightly talk, right?
And Sammy, with that virgin voice, even though he's married, he sounds like a little 14-year-old kid sometimes. So that's the problem. It's the optics that you see there. True. Like I said, it should have been a one-on-one match for Double or Nothing. Maybe you build on a one-on-one match for Jungle Boy on a Dynamite and a one-on-one against Sammy Guevara. You had people for MJF to build on his legacy, to build on his reign. But TK wanted to shoot a shot and put it for Double or Nothing just to appease the fans and just try to prove that he is making stars. Is he making stars? The numbers don't lie. He ain't making stars. He's just making a segment that people don't care. And MJF can do all he can, and he can't save it.
He's unmaking stars that either he made or were made under his watch, and he's unmaking them. He's unmade 3.
Unmaking them, right.
He's unmade at least 3 this year. And I'm going to say Wardlow, Hobbs, and MJF, he's unmade. I would say that the other people have cooled
unmade.
Off too. Unmade. I mean, Moxley, I feel is still the head guy there. Moxley and Jericho, the head guys there. I mean,
Jericho, I'd say right now is the guy. I feel.
Yeah,
that's by default, Jimmy.
Right, exactly.
Because he puts himself in that situation.
Absolutely, smart businessman. Put it that way.
He unmade Jay White.
From the get-go.
2 weeks.
Yeah. We still haven't even gotten a promo from him in the middle of the damn ring. Yeah. Which is bananas to me. But you know what? I just want to go back to what the prof said about the Pillars. Mm-hmm. You know what's hilarious? You know how you say about how that TK has blown his shot already, right? Why couldn't they just? This is simple booking. They could have kept running with this Sammy MJF thing all the way to Double or Nothing, right? To the point where you at least are intrigued. Is he going to throw away the match? Like, think of this. They could have played up the match where Sammy is trying to lay down for MJF, for example, right? But Darby and Jungle Boy is always stopping it so they can't get the win. Like, whatever they're trying to do, you know, Darby or Jungle Boy is stopping it happening all the time, right? But they couldn't even go that far. They did a 2-week little, I don't know what you want to call these weird...
Love fest.
Love fest, right. Love was definitely in the air for the last couple of weeks. And then already it's a divorce within 2 weeks. But this is not just that storyline. It's like that everywhere. They couldn't even wait for the go-home show, Prof.
Did you give Sammy the neuralizer, Jimmy? Because obviously history, you know, there was history between Jericho and MJF that Sammy kind of just ignored, because the same thing applies with MJF fucking over Chris Jericho. Hence why they had a program between Inner Circle and MJF's Pinnacle. So, you know, again, you're recycling the same kind of BS here with Sammy Guevara, and it didn't work. Like I said, the Pillars cannot help themselves on TV. The Pillars cannot cut promos on TV. Jungle Boy is the worst, and just like Jeff said, Jungle Boy is unmaking himself because he just cannot talk. He needs to be a mute. But Darby, I'm going to say this: Darby has grown on me, guys, because I think he can have that snarky charisma, and you see it a little bit here and there. And do I want him to? He's a bit of a tweener right now. I feel. Yeah, he's a bit of a tweener. So there's more potential with Darby Allin, and that's why I said it should have been MJF and Darby 1-on-1 at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, we said that too a couple of weeks back, man. We were saying the same thing, but for whatever reason, the 4 Pillars need to be the main event, which is going to suck. Right at this point, they're getting beat up from pillar to post, literally.
What haven't we seen these guys do?
Die in the ring.
Okay. Well.
Jump off the second balcony, I guess, Jeff. So
it reminds me of 1979. Head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, John McKay, during a press conference, was asked by a reporter, "What are your thoughts on the execution of your offense?" And he said, "I'm for
it." That's great.
Simple, direct.
That's great. And even though the reporter probably didn't mean it that way, they meant tactically, right?
In the context of our conversation.
That's brilliant. Oh, well, sometimes you got to call the shit when you see it. Anyway, let's move on, because next we get a Jericho segment, guys. He refused to leave his locker room due to Adam Cole's unprovoked attack. He apologized to the fans for not performing his commentator duties, as Jericho demanded assurances that Cole will not be in the building next week. What the hell, Prof?
It's so stupid.
Well, stupid. Again, is it stupid? Yes, but at least it makes sense. I hate to say this. Right. And of course, Jericho is a showman. He's entertaining. He understands that he's on TV, and he's got to be a little bit funny, have a little nuance to it. Does it make sense? You know, again, that's to each his own. But it makes sense for this storyline. It makes sense that he's afraid of Britt Baker, afraid of Adam Cole trying to jump him, you know, an unsafe work environment, and have that, you know, to a degree. But again, when you go from the Wednesday to Friday thing, again, you know, I don't want to get into this rant about, you know, the Britt Baker shirt, but again, he went along with it. He's running with it. So, you know, again, he's an idiot, but he also knows controversy creates cash. So he wants to be a part of it.
Controversy, dude.
But he wants to be in the middle of it. And that's the thing. You want to keep talking. That's what Jericho is. He might be 52. He might be a little bit long in the tail, but he's a smart businessman, Jimmy.
But I agree.
So he puts the shirt on. You're going to talk about him wearing the shirt. So he's doing, and he puts himself in situations with up-and-comers. He puts himself in situations to be on TV, and this is a perfect situation. Oh, Adam Cole, Britt Baker, it's an unsafe work environment. It's a simple segment, and it did its job.
You know what's funny, though? Does Jericho truly put anyone over in AEW? No one.
Didn't Action Andretti get over?
Oh, yes. Of course. Where's that guy? What? Wait a minute.
Neuralized.
Gone. Out. Arrivederci. He's out of here, man.
Didn't Chris Jericho put Ring of Honor over with the title?
The Ocho. All right?
Yes.
Because Jericho needed to be the fucking Ring of Honor champion, of course.
Well, I mean, there's two people who got elevated. One, I think, was going to be inevitable, and that's MJF, who is now doing him. He's not doing.
He was getting
any
himself over regardless.
Okay,
Come on,
but
Jeff.
he's
Don't give Jericho that much credit.
Listen, he survived a Jericho program, and either it didn't derail him. And Orange Cassidy is definitely in a better position for him. I mean, I think he should be relegated.
Is
to
he
more
drawing,
of a
though?
kind of no.
The ratings are going as soon as he's on television, straight off from the get-go.
Well, you know, they jimmy their own things by putting him as the opening match every week and giving him
every week, and he's not learning from his lessons.
Well, that's why would he? Because the Big Bang Theory has this enormous lead, and then by the time his match is over, 100,000 people have left the show. But still, Orange Cassidy is the highest, the biggest segment of the week every week, and you have this echo chamber of this self-enforcing belief. But you could put on this show in the first 15 minutes of Dynamite, and we'll draw, you know, the highest quarter, you know, of the show.
Who carries a championship in a backpack?
It's original.
Oh yeah, very original. You're right, Prof.
Someone
My bad.
Too lazy to dress himself.
Well, you know, he's got to have a look. It's the look. It's the sunglasses. It's marketing. It's all that stuff. So, you know.
Do you want to be on what marketing, though? People buying jean jackets?
The sunglasses.
Tell me he moves merch. I have not.
He doesn't.
But I've never seen him reported as.
He's marketing the wrong things. People are buying jean jackets and jeans, man. Not his ones either.
No, that's AEW. That's AEW's fault. They didn't put the OC on. They didn't put the OC on the denim jacket.
They're stupid. Literally, they're dumb. The dumbest company in many ways in terms of marketing, merch. Do the t-shirts even make money? I don't see anyone other than AEW shirts really. Who wears really any of their shirts anymore right now?
T-shirts don't make a lot of money, period. I mean, they make
WWE shirts sell at least.
Only the manufacturer.
Right, whatever. But the point is, I feel like their merch sales looks like it is taking a real nosedive.
Well, Danhausen,
you can't gauge because
for the Acclaimed, they seem to sell a lot of merch.
No, but you can't gauge because it's not with AEW merchandising itself. It's a partnership with Pro Wrestling Tees. So it's it's a subsidiary. You got to remember that.
There you go. Even worse. Oh well, it is what it is. Again, but the AEW marketers don't want to admit to that though, Prof. You say that to them, they're like, "Fuck you, you WWE shield." That's what they say, dude. I hate that, and that's what you're getting, Jeff. Look at this WWE shield. Look at this WWE. Where's his sources? Himself. That's what they're saying, like friggin' dorks. Like, they don't even know you. They don't know you're a lawyer. They don't know who you know.
Forget
like, you know what I'm saying?
They should. If they ever watch my shows on WWE, you're not going to hear. I mean, it's pretty objective.
That's all right. Do you remember 2 weeks ago I got called an AEW shield? I fucking laughed. I'm like, clearly this guy's never heard of my show, listened to any of my shows. An AEW shield. Really?
There's 2 million podcasts out there, and probably 1 million of them are wrestling.
That's true. Well, at least we're in the top 100%. I mean, like a top 1%. Sorry, top 10%. But for a short-lived time, I mean, that's something. But anyway, guys. Let's keep going, though, because next we see Taya Valkyrie apparently has been suspended for putting hands on referee Aubrey Edwards. Dumb and dumber.
So exciting.
Very. Have they killed Taya already, Prof?
Yes. You know what? It's being a victim of circumstance that Taya has to be a sacrificial lamb. Because TK, again, he's stuck in whatever he wrote in his notebook. It's Chris Statlander beating Jay Cargill. So I don't know how he gets to that point.
Oh, no. Please, don't say that.
I don't know how he will get to that point, but he wants to get to that point. He wrote Chris Statlander versus Jay Cargill, but then there's a lot of blank space, Jimmy. So I don't know how he gets there, but because of that blank space, Red Velvet, Taya Valkyrie, Athena, Sky Blue, Those were like the fillers
Athena.
out of that blank space to get to Chris Statlander again.
Jeff, is he right?
And how does he get there? Doesn't matter. Jay Cargill beats some jabroni, local talent, 2 seconds says, and gets on the mic and says, "This is ridiculous. I'm 60-0. There's no challenges for me." And then Chris Statlander
She
comes
did say
and
that.
Go, "You never beat me."
Cut the shit, boys. Come on now. Cut the shit. Seriously.
Or she's beating someone up, and Chris Statlander runs in for the rescue. I mean, it's easy how to get there. I mean,
this is the same Statlander that was saying she came from Andromeda or whatever,
right?
But was from New York.
Well,
that's where aliens are from.
Statlander, who's now blown out ACLs 3 times. I mean, is this who you're putting your? Is this who you invest in? It's sort of like the CM Punk question, but with lower stakes. So the answer is no. Why would you do that?
Think about it. It's TK. Of course, it's going to invest in troubled goods. That's what he does.
The only person who's working at all is Jade. I mean, I don't think the squash match against Gia Scott did anyone any favors. That was sort of silly. But the only person that smells like a star and smells like they're a real champion is Jade.
Yeah, but you know what? She's getting stale, I think, right now. I think it's getting to a point where you can't keep winning like this anymore. It's done.
Well, she needs to get rid of Mark Sterling, and she needs to bring back another baddie or two. And the baddie should always be with her. Why is she coming out solo? Why isn't she coming out with Layla Gray and Red Velvet by her side?
Because she's a goodie now. No more baddies.
Well, nobody likes goodies. Good, even good when it's good. It's good.
Bad for business baddies.
If it ain't gonna be Chris Statlander that beats Jade, then it has to be. Well, then it should only be Layla Gray because she's been there. She was involved. I mean, you're gonna have TK is gonna have to understand. He's gonna have to put a plan B. He has to put a plan B on this. So who do you put on that? That's another story for another day. But
what about Slamovich?
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm sure he's got lots of plan B options. One of them in his mind might be Camille. One of them might be I'll make another play for
Camille's great.
Monet. How about another one? Trinity can't possibly be on.
What about Genocide? She's cool too.
She is, but I don't know. A lot of times when people are successful on the indies, then you see them on TV and it's just like, yeah, I'm not really seeing it anymore.
No, but you know what? NWA in particular do have female wrestlers that truly look like stars.
When's the last time you watched NWA?
I believe Cornette was on the line. Yeah. Wait a minute.
Exactly.
What's NWA? Isn't that a rap crew?
She's in a program with what's her name, Natalia Markova.
Didn't they bring out an album called Straight Outta Compton or something?
Yes, in fact they did.
But
the rest of their tag team division is flat nuts and not good at all.
I don't know what's going to happen, but at this point, I don't like the fact that Jade...
Easy's going to beat Jay Cargill. That's what you're trying to say, Jimmy.
Who? EV?
No, Easy.
Oh, Easy. Oh, definitely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Dre needs to, lay the smackdown on it too. Like he said in Dre Day.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Jay, it's a catch-22 for Jay because I'm a man who's a fan of legacies. I'm a fan of a dominant reign, but there's a problem with Jade is because of the undefeated part. If she had a loss in her bag, then I think we could celebrate her, having a dominating reign, but she's still undefeated. So
exactly,
that's the issue right there.
And I'm worried that once she does get the loss because of her reign being just so dominant, it's going to hurt her now a little bit. Right now, that is. If they should have done that a long time ago now at this point. You know what? What about Monet? Mercedes Monet.
I already said it.
Well, yeah, but do you think that's a possibility? Could it happen? Yeah. But she's too small to beat it, Jade, to make it believable, really, though. Really.
She's not too small. She has a pedigree. She has a rep.
I know. I get that. But she's no Jade Cargill, though, in size or look.
Well,
she's not that. There's no difference between, and I hate to say this, there's no difference between Monet and Red Velvet. She's just a little bit bigger than Red Velvet.
True.
So it's
Red
believable.
Velvet is kind of a cheap version of Monet, like in many ways when you think about it. But more like the NXT version, not as skilled though.
I am the only pure sizist here that's always been a sizist, so I don't think that Finn Balor should be able to go toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar. I think that the Kofi getting squashed was appropriate. Daniel Bryanson or Bryan Danielson shouldn't have been.
Bryanson.
Yeah, but Daniel Bryan shouldn't have been able to go toe-to-toe with these guys. So, I mean, why is it different for the women?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you're right. I mean, yeah. Well, anyway, speaking of Jade, she does wrestle Gia Scott to a squash, and she gets the win. Whatever. She wins in like, I don't know, a second. And she's still the TBS champ that she defends all the time on TNT, mind you. Hardly ever on TBS.
Not from Baltimore. She's from the DC area.
She is? Oh. Well, people sort of put DC and, Maryland kind of together.
The invisible line, Jimmy. That's what you try to say. The invisible.
It's like Connecticut and New York, Jersey and New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Connecticut's like the rich part of New York. People say.
I understand. They like to say that they like to say the enhancement talent is from that city. But I'm just saying, Gia Scott is from
come on. Yeah. That was fucking funny.
Oh, boy.
I'll say that. That was bad. Who's that guy? He seems to be pretty... Yeah.
It never happened. It never happened.
Was it in
Good
Utah?
old Charlie. Sorry, it was in Baltimore.
Oh.
You didn't see it?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, no. That was the week before, wasn't it? I must be getting it mixed up. I think it was in Florida, sorry. Not Baltimore.
Okay.
There was the week before, but still. Anyway, it sort of made me laugh. It's still in my head. Anyway, let's move on, though, from that. Because after the match, we get Mark Sterling and Layla Gray. We're at ringside. And apparently a 20-minute time limit, but Jade only needed less than 60 seconds for a Jaded squash. And that was that. She's 57-0 now, just quietly. But next, we get the...
Mine's 57.
Yes, that's right. Possibly the funniest part of of Rampage. Although that was on Dynamite, actually. I'm getting confused. But anyway, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett pestered Mark Briscoe about FTR to accept the tag title challenge and whatnot. Briscoe didn't want any of it, but he has never known FTR to back down from a fight. So whatever. And I just want to point this out, right? Is it just me? But since FTR have won these tag team championships, have they been devalued already, guys? I've noticed that. No, well, look on Dynamite. No reaction this time for FTR.
Right. And they go on. They're on singles matches, and they lose the singles matches. I mean, why don't they have them? Where are the guns? Why aren't they? The laziest thing to do is
Jeff. Let them win. I know I've pulled this out one too many times already.
If I had $1 for every time you said that.
I literally answered this question because they're valuing the trios division way more than the tag team division. And now we'll see by Double or Nothing that FTR will defend the titles against Jarrett and Jay Lethal, which I have no problem with because they're trying to build a story to it. But there's no tag team
matches in the last 90 days.
Right. And it's called the wrong name. It shouldn't be called Double or Nothing. It should be called Trios or Nothing at this point. I mean...
Triple or Nothing, you mean?
Triple, yeah. Oh, sorry, yes. Triple or Nothing. I mean, at this point, you might as well go all in, right?
Mm-hmm.
True. Or they're all out. At this point, I'm this close to getting out.
I'll say this, because I'm the FTR shill, I will admit that. But FTR is the anchors for the tag team division, but they need tag teams. They need to build programs with other tag teams for FTR to give these banger matches. FTR cannot do any. FTR can wrestle a broom, but give the broom some mic time. Give the broom a promo. So just give me some tag teams for FTR to build on that legacy. They are good to have the belts. I'm happy for them to have the belts, but give them some competition. Give them some goddamn tag teams. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Their first post-title win matches should not be singles matches if they lose. That should happen 3 or 4 months down the line when they sort of have gone through, 5 or 6 tag teams, some TV tag teams, and then some pay-per-view, more important matches, real challengers. But this is, and even that would probably be too soon. But even in the AEW world, this is yes. What they do is they build someone up, they get them to a title, then they're not sure what to do with them. And like when in danger, break glass, and out comes Jarrett and Lethal.
Well, you know what? They're the only two true pro wrestlers in this company in many ways, in terms of the way they deliver their promos, just the way they do things. People need to learn more from just Jarrett and Lethal, straight up.
Right, but like, is there any reason why FTR can't be Menard and Parker on TV as a tag team? They don't win anything anyway.
Menard's Daddy Magic's nipples weren't hard enough for that match, dude.
Well, that might be the reason he lost. His nipples
Could
weren't
be.
hard. It might be like Mjolnir or something.
Maybe.
Right. I mean, they couldn't beat the Spanish Announce Project. I mean, what?
Who?
They couldn't beat Dralistico and 10. Or Pero Peligrosa.
Preston Vance. Who's Pero Peligroso? Isn't that a dangerous dog or dog dangerous?
Yes, it's dangerous dog. So I mean, there's real. I mean, we don't need to see them again, but the Kingdom. I mean, they couldn't beat them.
Oh, the Kingdom. I thought they shut down.
Country's still around. They couldn't beat them.
Bearcat.
I'm just saying, there are teams they can beat. They could beat Dalton Castle's The Boys. They can beat Nice and Josh Woods. I mean, there are teams they can beat on TV matches.
I think Woods and Nice are an impressive couple, as a matter of fact. I think they could be something special. Problem is...
breaking news here?
No, I'm not breaking news. But what I will break, wasn't there another varsity team? Wait,
yes.
I've got to do this again.
The Varsity Blondes or the Varsity Club?
No, I'm not going way back to the Varsity Club in WCW NWA days. I'm not that far back.
Fix the machine. Fix the machine.
I got to fix the machine. Wait. I'm talking about the youngsters, the ones that are apparently part of AEW in Griff Garrison and Methanie's son.
Not, I don't know if he's ready or not. But yeah, they could be a team that FTR could beat. Well, I mean, why not?
I thought his contract expired.
It did?
No.
Oh.
He had surgery, and that's going to keep him out for 2,000 to 3,000 years.
Oh, okay.
So we got two varsities. Are we going to get a varsity feud at this point? I mean,
oh wait, I got it. I got the answer because again, TK's booking, it's blank, but he booked Top Flight to beat FTR for the titles. He's just waiting. Yeah, so he's just waiting. Crashing. Yeah. So he's just waiting for that to kill over right there.
Wow, look who's in his house. It is the Comic King himself in Todd Brantley. What's crack-a-lackin', bro? And Chris Willen's also got a few questions. We'll get to your questions at the end, though.
Wait, one about Miro?
He loves Miro, clearly. He's always... It's like it's our fault that Miro's not around, Chris. Come on, man.
It is my fault.
It is your fault.
Yeah. Miro against FTR. That's what we want.
We have Miro and Lana here kidnapped for our pleasure.
We do. Yeah. See ya, Chris. Don't worry.
That's the threesome.
The real menage.
Mm-hmm.
Et toi.
That would be whatever.
Not Nicki Minaj. Menage et toi. Yeah. Well. Anyway, hey yo to you. He also says, chalk it up. More people on the roster not being used. They're not doing anything with. I know, we keep saying it. And Chris just jumped in and said, hey, oh, God. Hey, fellas, was Miro hiding under the Hardy boat? Skarsgård. Is that what it's called?
Yes, the dilapidated boat was Skarsgård. We didn't see Skarsgård.
No, we didn't. During the compound match. Well, apparently, I got news for you, Chris. Yeah. He got all compounded and compressed and got thrown into the lake of reincarnation, whatever the hell. So maybe he'll come back as Rusev.
We saw the lake of reincarnation. We didn't see Skarsgård.
We didn't. I was disappointed in that.
No piano work.
We did see Senor Benjamin.
Isn't that trademark to Impact Wrestling, though? All the other stuff?
Well, no. They remember
Vanguard was around.
Remember they settled with Matt Hardy? They said you can take everything with you.
Oh, yeah. He's right. That's true. I remember
And then they made the policy we're going to let wrestlers take their gimmicks with them when they were trying to attract talent.
Idiots. Anyway, whatever. It is what it is. We'll get to that in a moment, though, guys. Anyway, speaking of, we got a barn burner, literally. I mean, it's Mark Briscoe versus Don't Call Me Pero Peligroso in Preston Vance. Again, this has to come out. Peligroso is no more. And we go back to the unmasked Preston. Why was this match as competitive as it damn was? Decent match.
Who do you think is the one who should have squashed the other?
That's $1 million question.
One just turned heel and joined a faction, which always loses, but that usually leads to something.
No. Jeff, again. There's no pillar. That's a good. That's a good one right there. That's how you should act. There's no more Pillow Peligroso. This is Preston Vance, just unmasked.
Redneck Kung Fu. Yeah.
There was that too. I mean, shit. He even had a cock shirt on. Them boys, just
he
quietly.
Even had his kid and his wife with 7 different hair colors.
I love the whole Briscoe family, but god damn it. If they're the most legit rednecks you could ever get, I wouldn't be surprised if there's something funky going on in that family.
The cheapest ugly people you ever see.
I ain't touching that.
That kid.
I ain't touching it.
I'm definitely not touching that. But I will say this: his newborn was the star of Dynamite. Just saying. I just want to say that kid was funny.
His father was the star. Listen, that segment was the star. That segment was the high point of Dynamite.
The only high point, literally, except for TK. He was on a different high point. But you know what I mean. But anyway, we got Media M5 also in his house doing some petri dish cross. Well, yeah, exactly.
Nice.
That's what seems to be happening at the chicken coops.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I would say they need to add a little bit more Mendelian genetics there.
Mendelian effects on me at this point.
Whatever
Anyway,
they add, just add it to the Popeyes.
to the Popeyes, indeed. Well, Briscoe does defeat Preston Vance in a back and forth type of match. I mean, this match felt like it went for 20 minutes. I'm sure it didn't, but it felt long. Prof, did it feel long? It was, right?
Well, because Mark Briscoe is now venturing full time into the singles mode. So you could always use the old adage that he, being a tag team wrestler all his career, he's always needed to tag out to Jay and to get a breather or whatever. So now he's got to depend on himself, do everything 100% himself. So that's why it's not a squash. Number one. Number two, again, I'm happy that Mark is on TV. I'm happy Mark is on the TBS or TNT when he gets the opportunity to get it. So whatever match he gets, I'm all for it. And I'm just glad the right person won.
Right, absolutely. But it felt too even, man. That's all. And was this a no disqualification match?
No idea.
But true. My bad. My bad.
I don't know.
When you don't know the answer, you already know the answer.
It would seem like it looked like a no DQ match. It sounded like a no DQ match. But I'm not sure if it was an ODQ match. That's
what's the
problem.
history between Mark Briscoe and LFI in I mean, are they the ones who beat him up originally when FTR
LFI
came to the rescue?
Jeff, LFI. What are you talking about?
Did that happen in Ring of Honor TV, guys? I don't know. Maybe that happened in Ring of Honor TV.
Maybe. Originally we were doing a Channel Attitude review show for, remember that, Jeff? And we're like, nah, enough. The only highlight for me of Ring of Honor watching that crap, honestly, was Ben Deco. That's it. Sorry, Jeff?
Why am I in this strange place?
Oh, jeez. So, Media M5 says something.
I don't feel so well.
Stop the coca, Jeff. Thanks to Media M5.
Who's Jeff? Pass the cocaine.
Opa. Anyway, let's move on. Actually, in your case, Wepa. Prof. Wepa and Opa is in his house. Anyway, now we go to the all-natural Dustin Rhodes, who I feel like that's what Keith Lee should be called. All-natural Keith Lee. Because, I mean, look, he's all white hair, all natural. But I digress. Anyway, Dustin discussed AEW coming to Austin, Texas in 2 weeks. Anything can happen in his backyard, and boom, guess what happens? Brian Cage gets attacked. And then Swerve Strickland implied a tag match for that show as Keith Lee strolled into scene and the Mogul Embassy end up fleeing. I will say this, Prince talks more now.
I will say this. Didn't they just start Mogul Affiliates and they had like merchandise printed up for Mogul Affiliates? Now it's already the Mogul Embassy.
Stop. I know. Hey, look, I'm waving this a lot. But truth be told, how many start and stops have they done already?
Again, it's with the paper. There's a blank area. He has an A to the B. It just
but
for
not
some
to the
reason,
C. Or maybe
I don't know.
to the C.
Mhm.
But continue on, Prof.
No, I'm just saying, like Jeff said, I guess TK had a plan for Mogul Affiliates. He had a plan for Swerve Strickland, but then I guess injuries hit, or the realization that Preston, what's his name, Parker Boudreaux, and the tattoo guy, no one cared. No one cared about those two guys, and that was the disservice to Swerve Strickland, who really doesn't need an entourage of wrestlers that we don't care about. He could have just been a badass on his own. He could have been the heel on his own. He could have been the conniving, diabolical person on his own. But again, TK has 200 people on his roster, give or take, and he has to add some people to it to add some substance.
Well, Todd says, I've got 4. Oh, well, I've got 5 on it, Todd. Wink, wink. But look, Media M5, apparently you got a new fan, Prof. I like the guy, Veracruz.
Thank you, Media M5.
He's not called the professor for nothing, Media M5. Check him out. You'll understand. But Chris Whelan also says Booker of the Year. Of course, man. Booker of the blank pages. Jeez. And for now, one more thing. Media M5 says Boudreaux came in WWE trying to be like E-Brock. He was shit. Tony signs him. And guess what? He's still shit. And he looks like a fucking melted candle. Melted candle. That's actually a good one. He does look like a melted candle. For fuck's sake. Anyway, who cares again? I'm putting this in the chat now. You're meant to forget all this shit. God damn it! Forget those guys, Boudreaux.
It just doesn't last long, Jimmy. You can neuralize me all you want, but then that memory pops back. It's like a bad dream.
It sure is.
You can't stop a bad dream.
Well, you can't. But speaking of bad dream,
it's like a wet dream. It feels good for a second, then you realize you're just stuck with a mess.
No, but you realize how messy.
Have you seen Dave Meltzer's couch, Jeff? Have you seen his couch? It's wet. It's very, very wet. After an AEW review show, I'm just saying.
Can you imagine all those white stains?
Look at his couch. It's wet. BM5, you can concur, right? You've seen Meltzer's couch. It's wet.
I'm going to go with no.
I got to go real blank here, man. You got to stop this. Stop it now.
He kicked himself out of the show.
Well, again, I'm just saying, it's right there. His couch is wet, but neither here nor there. I'm just saying. That's why it's Book of the Year for 3 years in a row. I'm just saying.
I have no idea what's going on now. I don't know if we should still speak, but this is.
Wait a minute. Didn't you win that voting? Didn't you win? Oh, wait, someone's back.
Whoa.
You kicked yourself out of the show?
Just came back.
Back.
No, I don't know what happened.
Yelling at them. You better run. I mean, the thing is like they got 3 feet, and the reason they did is that they know Keith Lee can't run. So, I mean, Keith Lee is stuck in tag teams for the reason Chabella said, but I'm also increasingly convinced he can't do anything singles anymore of any substance. They're like, he physically can't move for more than 3 minutes in a ring without getting physically exhausted.
Actually, I noticed he's got a 6-pack. I'm kid you not. Look at his stomach properly. He really does.
Okay.
Bud Lights? He's got a 6-pack of Buds?
I don't know what the fuck that was, but they'll 6 something. I don't know if they're tumors or fucking
maybe
fat deposits.
6-pack.
Maybe. Todd says the memory remains.
Mm-hmm.
Good song, by the way.
You know what? If you were a wrestler and you called yourself Memory, that would be a good catch line. The memory remains.
No, that's got to be a luchador, but El Memoria.
I like mine better.
Oh, fair enough.
No, if you're called yourself the memory, I would have a shirt that says I forgot.
That's
okay. That's good fodder.
That's great marketing
and moving merch. No problem.
Absolutely, you'll be selling friggin' by the boxes full. Absolutely. Apparently, Media M5 knows why Meltzer is wet. It's apparently from his tongue thinking of Gargano's abs.
No, let's think about Jay White's abs. Come on.
Yeah, it's definitely Jay White's abs now. Look at Gargano's. Come on.
Abs.
But that sounds funny. Gargano's abs. That's just foul. Ugh. And Todd says, I'll take your word for it, Prof. But I still can't get the abs and his tongue wagging. Nah, he's got a hard on for Kenny, though. Like, seriously, man. The guy needs help. Anyway, can we get an Anna J and Julia Hart mashup promo right here, guys?
Oh, just try to stop it.
Well, it's Anna the Banana and Julia. I've got no fucking... Needs to shut the fuck up, Hart. Why does she talk during the House of Blacks promos? It makes me sick.
I don't know, but I don't remember Anna J being best friends with Julia Hart at any point, and Anna is no longer part of the JAS, and she's now a face. I don't know a bit. And why are they making us watch Julia Hart wrestle on TV?
Why are they making us listen to Julia Hart talk?
Right. I mean, if anything, what she's doing,
you gotta put substance. You got to put substance into Julia Hart. She's in this
you
group
put substance, all right.
Right. She's in the group with House of Black, so she's got to be the female that could do something. She's dark. She's mysterious. The promos are okay. The wrestling is the wrestling is subpar. That's for one thing. Anna J AS cannot recover from that house rules match that she had with Britt Baker. That's all I can think about with her. You can neuralize me all you want, Jimmy, but I can still remember that. I can remember. I will still remember that the drizzling shit match that she had in a house rules match with Britt Baker. That's what she is right now, and she can't do shit. She can't wrestle for shit. So Julia Hart, this better be what you said, Jimmy, a squash match for Julia Hart. It should be a dominating match for Julia Hart this coming Wednesday at Dynamite. If it's not, it's atrocious. It's a business. It's bad
you know
booking.
what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen.
It will be competitive, but it shouldn't be. It should not be.
You know what's even worse? Julia Hart
before you.
But wait. It gets better. Julia Hart turns up, lights go out, and what happens? She gets the shit end of the stick anyway. How the fuck do you do that?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to talk about these promos. I don't want to talk about the match that's coming up. Look, it's bad enough that it's taken us an hour and 47 minutes to cover a 1 hour show, and we're not even at final deletion.
Because of this company, Jeff. We got to give the people what they want. I mean, every other show on Channel Attitude
as well, and that's you and Chabella.
Anyway, speaking of that match you talk about, it's the firm deletion. Now, that sounds like a bad porno in many ways. A firm deletion. But I digress. Because it is Ethan Page, Big Deal or Bill Morrissey, and the Cat, Lee Moriarty, and Stokely Hathaway, traveled to the Hardy compound for a fight against Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Isaiah Cassidy, Hook, Lexi Nair, referees on site, Caprice Coleman, Maxwell doing swantons,
Wolfie,
Senor Benjamin, Rebby Hardy, the Pigeons. I mean, you name it. They were against everybody, even that bad Impact ring that Matt Hardy still has.
Right. There were a couple parts that made me chuckle, but mostly this was painful. I was glad to see Senor Benjamin with the taser again.
Me too.
But,
that was great.
Aside from that, and some of the stuff that the kids did was okay, but
man, the swanton from friggin' Maxwell. I mean,
that was fine. And you know, the way that what's his face, like some of the things that Stokely said were funny. Most of them didn't hit, but some of them were funny. Like I said, you're not even trained. You're not even in the match, Maxwell or Maxwell.
Didn't you remember? Good. Okay, it's bedtime now, Max. After the swan time, God
and
damn.
Rebby,
She's put on fucking kgs. I mean,
she's enjoying.
She's pregnant again. She has to be pregnant again.
No. God, I'm sorry, man, but she's becoming a. I don't even know if I should say it.
No,
I won't.
No,
I won't.
Anyway, the whole thing with the bad special effects with Vanguard 1 doing
that was funny.
Holographed head. I mean, didn't the Broken Universe end because AEW fans rejected it? They thought it was stupid when he was teleporting throughout the ring. Now they like it.
Oh God, do you remember that was during the pandemic era when that was happening?
I know.
Was it? Yeah, I know. Bang, bang, bang. Again.
Right, forget. Anyway,
forget it.
I mean, this was weird. Bill can't wrestle. Isaiah Cassidy is terrible. All of this.
Wait. Isaiah Cassidy moaning, I gotta admit, fucking made me laugh.
Organic. Well, of course it is, because you have the sense of humor of a 12-year-old. But it was because it was disturbing.
At first, when I heard it, I'm like, is he fucking moaning? Right? And then I'm like, no, he must have not done that, right? And then he does it again. And then he does it again.
It was a moan. It was a moan and an echo of the moaning. So it was all rolled up into one.
I feel like it was a rib because they're in the middle of like the sticks, literally. And he's like,
And this is
the whole
not
projection
done before, thankfully. So just to bring it out now and here.
That was funny though. It's dumb, but don't get me wrong. It's trolled shit, but it made me laugh.
I didn't think it was funny.
It was cringe. It was cringe funny.
Like and the screaming when the kids were coming on the little golf cart. I mean, it was way too slow to be scary.
That's the whole point, though.
I mean, it's lost its magic.
And did you catch the joke that Stokely Hathaway said to the kid?
I'm sure I did, but I don't remember.
It was a black reference. I don't know if you guys caught it, but
I heard he was like, you're like badass kids or something. I'm like,
no. But he said he made a black reference without saying black though.
Oh
man, I forgot exactly what it was.
You're really ruining your own.
Oh man, I gotta find it, man. I forgot. I forgot exactly what term he used, but it made me laugh.
Did you watch the whole 20-minute one on Bleacher Report?
Yeah, I watched whatever was on. Whatever was on.
Yeah, Bleacher Report had the full 20-minute match, the full deletion match.
I watched it on Fight TV, so I don't know.
Oh my God, Jeff Hardy choking at Bill. He's like this. With a stick that's
broken in half. That was bad. That was bad.
It takes that drunk Jeff Hardy.
Oh, I hated that.
About a minute to realize it's not. Then he does the smaller one and then just throws away his stick, and Big Bill's still there like this.
And he's rolling his eyes. That was the worst selling I've seen in my life. No, that was bad. That was really bad.
And then what Isaiah Cassidy did? What, the leg drop from like the fourth rung on the ladder, the fourth step? I mean, it wasn't even the top. This was so.
He was moaning his way down, dude. Come on.
You know who felt out of place? You know who felt out of place in this match? Hook. Hook did not belong in this deletion match.
I forgot he was even in the match.
Yeah, because all he did was just suplexes here and there, and then that was it. And then they went away from him a couple of times because he couldn't even throw punches. He just does his suplex, and that was it.
Because
his gun wasn't even working properly.
He can only do a couple moves when you come to him, or if you're in the corner. You can walk.
It was a cinematic match, Jeff. They could have edited and done all sorts of shit with that.
No, he can't even do that. Remember, he's Taz's son. He had lead paint. He's dumb.
I'm not going to get into that one.
And here's the problem, because I guess when you're in the Hardy compound, I have to understand this logic. Matt Hardy becomes full, Broken Universe Matt Hardy only in the compound because in the arenas he kind of like glitches here and there, but here he's full born Matt Hardy Broken Universe. I'm trying to understand the logic because he didn't really get broken fully.
He wasn't. You're right.
He wasn't fully broken even during the weeks leading up to the final deletion match. So there's no substance to even get to this point.
Nope. Broken company, Professor. Broken Matt Hardy in the compound.
And this match was perfect if you use the lake of reincarnation.
The lake? How did they not use the lake?
For Jeff Hardy to be Willow,
to reborn
to have a
and
little
be
bit
reborn.
of nuance and have some fun with this.
Especially after what he just went through. It makes sense for him to be reborn again.
I mean, I don't want to be stupid, but with all of his 80s and 90s, old pop reference culture, why don't you throw Stokely Hathaway in there? One time he comes out as
I was expecting that.
Band. One time he comes out as Urkel and he goes, "Did I do that?" And then another time he comes out as like before.
Did I do that?
Like all pop culture, another time he comes out as like a, like an 80s or 90s rapper. Wow, he comes out and he goes,
well, it comes out like
comeback.
Jeff, you and I are right there because you could have done something with the lake because Lee Moriarty was looking like Bruce Lee, so he could have went into the lake and looked like Sho'nuff, and then you have Isaiah Cassidy go into the water and become Bruce Leroy from Last Dragon, and then they could have the glow.
Last Dragon.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. You could add the glow right there between Isaiah Cassidy and Lee Moriarty right there. That would have been gold.
What about from Police Academy, Michael Winslow?
Oh,
he comes out. I will fight you.
Out there, and they come out.
You're dead.
They come out of two sides of Cobra Kai, like they're kung fu fighting each other.
And he's like,
and how stupid did Ethan Page? They're still on. It's your fault. No, it's your fault. I mean, they're basically doing this like you were my friend. It
was childish, man.
That's so NXT. You were my friend. I'm your friend. And they did that. And that would have been cool.
That would have been funny.
Terrible.
Terrible.
But they did the same thing with We Were Best Friends, Now I Hate You earlier in the show with Anna Jay and Julia Hart. Wait, I forgot about that. Sorry.
I've lost it. I don't know where it went.
I keep forgetting what I've forgotten. Cue Michael McDonald. I keep forgetting what I've forgotten before.
Anyway, they were telling this story for months. You have to at least admit that. Whether it was written well, they were telling this for months. This was on Rampage. This was on Dark Elevation. This was everywhere. This was months in the making. Whether the final payoff is satisfactory for the AEW fan base, neither here nor there. But I'm just saying it was written for months in every spectrum of AEW TV.
Counting crew and trucks and production vehicles and people who held microphones and things like that, and all the people who were involved in this, they probably had close to 30 people involved in this thing. I mean, you got 2 teams of 4. You had 5 referees there, including Caprice Coleman. You had Lexi there. You brought them all to Cameron, North Carolina, include all the Hardy household people. But, I mean, there were camera people. There were people holding boom microphones. And
Caprice Coleman was there, goddammit.
What's that?
Caprice was even there.
Yeah, I said Caprice Coleman.
I know, but it's just, why was he a ref though? Like,
I don't know.
The North Carolina connection with Caprice Coleman and the Hardys.
So where was Shannon then?
He would have been there if he wasn't under contract with WWE. I don't know.
He is? I'm not sure, but where's Sugar Shane Helms?
I'm thinking of Shane. I'm sorry.
Sugar Shane. The Hurricane signed to WWE, but not Sugar Shane Helms.
Well, maybe Shannon is in MLW. Maybe he's in GCW. Who knows? Maybe he had a different
MLW. GCW does no contract. So
maybe he's in the Omega Wrestling Federation, whatever it was called, in North Carolina.
Maybe he's in jail.
I think the biggest question we have to ask is,
maybe he's the one Jeff Hardy needed to get out of his life. I don't know.
Maybe
that too. But I mean, they've already jumped the shark with the deletion matches because nothing can ever top Jeff Hardy against Matt Hardy, the first deletion match, because that sets the bar.
Right.
But we get to this point after 2017 to 2023. That's 6 years of deletion matches, and to be fair, you've seen it on Impact, you've seen it on WWE, now you've seen it in AEW. It's jumped
the same aesthetics as well.
Right. Okay. It's jumped the shark of relevance. It's jumped the shark of importance.
It's done. Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, for production wise, was this the cheapest of the deletion matches? Because there was really, besides the little firecracker stuff, a couple of tables.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap. There was hardly any effects. You're right.
It was less cinematic.
I will say this. I felt this was the funniest one I've ever seen, though.
No, the first one was funnier.
In comedy, I felt this was so bad that it was funny, man.
No, this was.
No, when Maxwell pinned Rockstar Spud, that's funny.
That was
Maxwell
funny.
The baby.
This was
cheesy.
That was.
I give you this. Yeah. It was cheesy, but it wasn't that funny.
Yeah. Cheesy, funny though, but sad in many ways too. Like,
just more sad than funny, more cheesy than funny. No, this was a fail, yet still the high point of Rampage.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, that match alone is why I preferred Rampage over Dynamite. For real. Because at least it was kind of a landmark main event, compared to anything that was happening on Dynamite.
This is over, and none of these guys will ever see each other again.
Yeah. I hope this whole thing gets deleted, but we'll see.
And I don't know what they were trying to ignite at the end of that. I guess it was Jeff Hardy.
That was weird, dude. I thought it was going to get christened again, reborn into the lake, but
in fire, and then he yells, what do you yell? Thank God, and that was the end of the match.
But it was very demonic feeling, which is even more weird.
Which should have been Willow. It should have been the return of Willow.
Right, exactly.
It was a weird ending because he sort of wandered off on his own, but then
he was
Matt joined him. So even the one thing that was intriguing is like, Jeff okay? Like, is he done with this? Is he sick of this whole thing? Nope.
He's going to make the international title obsolete. That's what it is. That's his next venture. He's going to fight Orange Cassidy.
Fine. That's just fine.
Because it just makes sense now.
Yeah. Anyway, we've gone on for 2 hours about it.
All right, yeah, let's take it home. Let's take it home. Enough of this crap. But anyway, guys, where do I start? Let's start with the Prof first. Tell them where they can find you, my man.
You can find me on the Twitter at PWSOPROF. That's PWSOProf. And you can find me here on the PWC or on Hamin Media Group, where I host the most nostalgic podcast, the Pro Wrestling Reflection. And we just dropped an episode, the Pro Wrestling Spotlight, where we pay homage, untapped potential to Cole Scorpio. So it was a very fun episode that I did with the Tommy Wonder. So check that out, guys.
All right, I guess it's my turn. You can find me on Twitter at IcarusSkullMD. You can find me right here on the PWC and where we cross-pollinate with Hamin Media Group and Channel Attitude. My other wrestling podcasts don't involve these fine fellows. And that cast is Hammerlock Hangover with Big Daddy Cool T. Pena. We dropped a new episode today. Then there's Garden of Doom and Garden Views, which have nothing to do with wrestling at all, but there are 2 episodes with wrestlers on them. But anyway, check that stuff out. It's more occult, topical, things that go bump in the night, history, alternative history, mythology, mythos and logos. Anyway, check that shit out. Thanks. See you later.
That's it. You've got more to say, Jeff.
I'm trying to wrap it up.
Wow, it's a miracle. Well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can at DJ MassFX, and you can also follow the PWC Network at the PWC Network. Also, like and subscribe right here on channelattitude.com, where for $5 you get the best talking pro wrestling, literally, in not just all of us around here, but Big Ray, Stevie Richards, the Ayatollah himself in Bin Hamin, and Vince Russo, you name it, Stevie Ray, everyone, we're all there for $5. Like I said, you get the best talking pro wrestling. Also, like and subscribe at the pwcnetwork.podbean.com, where you can find all our shows, literally all of our shows, including Profs, Jeff's, and myself. And also HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com, where once again you'll find both of these lovely gents' shows over there at HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com. In saying that, I'm Jimmy T, that's Dr. Jeff Lippman, and that's the Professor Chavela Vera Cruz, and you've been watching and listening to the HMG Rampage Uncaged show right here on channelattitude.com via Hamin Media Group, and we're out. Delete.
Stay with my friends.
Guy holding it down on the MI. The MO used to be listen to my demo. All dembo, now with no problemo. Before I do a show, have my dinero. Yeah. I'm talking to all you. Yo, my rhymes get spit like a guy hole. Get the with the 5 cabbage chips and my Movado. Do I have Cabano? 6 and used to have the Milano. You got your name changed, Victor the Apollo. When Eric B and Rock Hay would follow the leader. Many nights got my that's fever by any white, black, or Badiqua, Maria, Shaniqua, had them all player. Them and played them. You loved them and dated them. Gave them an ultimatum. Talk about that kid, why I hate him. So cut him off, or I'm a brother, you soft. Back. You come and stuff to me, I f*** you. I got that fucking money. All that comes down about is drinking, the booze, and the I got those guys off, man. They got messing with me. I'll bury those tacos. I don't give a